funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we're back, maybe?
Maybe. We'll find out. Welcome to Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. That guy back there is Matt Harmon. And we're trying something a little different today.
Yeah.
David's the technical guy today.
Yeah. Normally I just show up, sit down, and do my thing. But not tonight. Not tonight. I've got the stream is running through this end for the first time in 4 years, 224 episodes in. For the first time, I actually have responsibility for something other than just showing up and talking smack. So
Right.
it may go great. It may be absolutely a disaster. So how you doing over there, West? And we got Matt in the background there as well.
Yeah, so I'm doing well. I'm a little nervous because I'm usually the one pressing buttons and running things. So my control freak brain is not working right now.
Yeah.
I did realize one thing. Everybody watching and listening, we didn't make any connections to actually receive the comments from YouTube or Facebook.
Okay.
So we can't put those on the screen right now. We're going to work on getting that up. Maybe next week we'll have that on. But we went from using Ecamm Live to OBS, which functionally they're basically exactly the same. Oh, what you doing?
Yeah, I didn't touch a thing. Your camera just jumped in and went back. Okay.
That was weird.
See,
right,
there
so
you
functionally
go.
Functionally they're basically the same, but there are a few minor differences. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. If we crash, we apologize. We'll try and reconnect.
Yeah, we will absolutely give it a shot to reconnect. This reminds me of way back when I don't say when we first started, because we dug into some certain softwares and we walked through all of it with you guys out there watching on the show, and we went through all the settings and we kind of put the pieces together so that if you wanted to do a digital format or a digital media podcast or something along those lines, that you would have the tools to do it. And we settled at the time on Ecamm Live. Ecamm is only available, first of all, Ecamm is only available for MacBooks.
Right.
They do not
it's only available for Mac.
They do not have, and they do not plan to have a Windows equivalent. And
well, because Windows
Linux is right out.
Sucks. So but one problem though is Ecamm Live is not free. You got to pay a monthly subscription. OBS is basically identical functionality for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's completely free. So look, that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
And that's really what a lot of streamers use is OBS.
Yeah, OBS. It's doing.
Almost everybody on Twitch is using OBS. Most YouTube streamers are using OBS. There are a few that use Ecamm, but really not that many.
Yeah. So hopefully for those out there watching, we don't see a huge difference between last week and this week. Now, the comments is going to be a big thing because we don't have anything that's going to bring in the comments to this platform yet. Again, you guys can see it, but we spent the afternoon not necessarily fine tuning. We got the bare minimum done a couple of days ago. We're like, okay, we can at least push a button and make it work. And then today we started putting actual scenes together so that we did that we could do what we needed, and we got the overlay on, and we didn't have the countdown timer, but that's something we're gonna be working on as well. And there's some automatic stuff that we're trying to fiddle with now.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's a learning curve. We'll get better, but overall, I think superficially, it looks almost identical to what we
Yeah.
normally do.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah.
Matt, can you do something? I don't know what you're doing back there, but he's got a flashlight that keeps blinking.
Oh yeah, I can try to turn that. It's my iPhone.
It's the old people notification on his phone, so whenever
Oh.
he receives a text or a call and he has a message, it keeps
No.
flashing.
No. Yeah.
For people who can't hear the alert or feel the vibration because they're like 90 years old.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to. No. I don't want my phone to make any noise unless I'm playing a video. That's it.
Agreed.
I turned the audio up on my where is my phone? There it is. I turned the audio up on my phone earlier today, and it lasted about an hour. No,
There you go.
No, I'm done. I'm out. I can't take this. This thing makes too much damn noise. This thing's always
That's hilarious.
this buzz. I mean, every email, every text message, every single thing. And apps, I try to keep notifications turned off on everything. You know what? We're getting too far in the weeds. We haven't talked about the most important part yet. Wes, what are you drinking over there tonight?
Well, I am Irish, so I'm going a little old school.
All right.
Going with Guinness tonight. So, good old-fashioned Guinness. Can't go wrong. Mother's milk is delicious.
Yeah, that's good.
Matt, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking ginger beer and Macallan's.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Just pour them all into a big glass and make yourself a cocktail.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if he was drinking them together. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Uno momento, se por favor. He's drinking Macallan?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm drinking?
You're drinking my Macallan?
Yeah, that's the only thing that was left over there.
Yeah, he's drinking very, very nice scotch.
That 18-year? Is it the
You
18?
drink the Jameson. Don't drink my Macallan.
It's empty.
My Jameson's empty?
Yeah, it's got like a half a teaspoon.
Jesus,
left.
Matt. Drink that bullet over there. There's bullet.
Drink
bullet
the aquarium water.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm curious because Matt has, before we get to what I'm drinking, Matt has very.
I'm glad you picked that up, David. It didn't even process in my mind he's drinking.
Well, it took me by surprise because we all know his
It's not a
take,
cheap scotch.
his
Yeah.
take on Blanton's, right? You know, I'm gonna
Right. Exactly.
I'm gonna finish off. There was just a little bit this left, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna finish off this Blanton's tonight. This is my last bottle I have here. I need to get a couple more on order and get them in. I got to call my guy.
Apparently, I'm running low on lots of things as well. I need to hit the liquor store. Apparently.
Yeah. So you know what? There's at any given time there's 50 bottles of bourbon in here, and this is just bourbon. There's nothing else. I've got an Irish whiskey called Sexton. I've got gin. I've got vodka, tequila, and 2 different types of Diplomatico rum out there.
Nice.
But that stuff stays in a separate. It stays separate. You don't put the low life liquor in here with my precious bourbon.
The low life liquor. Yeah.
Yes, they can keep that. Actually, no, I love that Diplomatico, and it's good. It's good tasting stuff. But anyway,
I'm kidding, Matt. You can drink whatever you want.
but
the
I was
Macallan
just
is, it's a pretty nice
Well,
one.
I honestly don't care. I mean, as long as it burns my mouth, that's all I'm.
Well,
There you
see,
go.
that's where I was getting was because we know his take on Blanton's. I'm very interested in his tasting notes of drinking an 18-year-old Macallan.
I tried it first a little bit before I poured it in there, thinking it might be the same thing. I didn't taste the runoff. I did not taste nuclear runoff. It was pretty yummy.
Yeah, there's a significant difference between Blanton's and an 18-year Macallan.
Significantly. So, yeah, pretty big difference. So I'm glad it approves with your palate.
Yeah,
or your palate approves the Macallan.
but see, I was fearful that it would be the other way, that he would hate it even more.
No.
You know, a lot of people don't like Scotch. The more people I talk to, the more I realize people don't like Scotch. I love Scotch. I'll drink Scotch all day, every day.
There are a
that
couple
makes
of
it sound bad. That sounds bad.
That sounds like I'm making problem. There are a few of them I've had, and I always do the Macallan when I'm out on the cruises. I always do the Macallan tasting. Always, it's like $50 or $75 or something like that. But they give you like 6 individual ounce and a half pours of Scotch. And then they come back around. They're like, "Oh, would you like a little bit more?" And well, I love you.
Oh, why? Yes, I would.
Because you're on a boat. You're drunk, so you're swaying. As long as you sway the opposite of the boat, you walk right dead center. It's fine.
See, exactly. Dude. It's the pirate walk. You
Yeah.
got to get your sea
gotta
legs.
get your sea
Basically
legs.
that means getting drunk.
Well, that's the best way to get into it. Yeah. So, but that's the only time. But every so often, somebody will hand me one like, "Oh, you're gonna love this, love this, love this," and I'll take the first drink, and they'll go, "It's super peaty," and I'm like,
Well, okay. So I kind of get how some people don't like Scotch because I'm not an IPA guy, right?
yeah,
And some people love. I still think they're lying, but some people claim they love that ultra bitter, hoppy, burn your teeth out hops flavor.
oh, I just love a drink
I
that
think they're
bites
lying.
me back.
But at the same time, I love a super super peaty Scotch.
Ah.
Like I love something that tastes essentially like topsoil and or potting mix.
One,
Yeah.
horse really does taste like dirty dirt.
Yeah,
Like
Dirty dirt.
But I love a really good. So that's a bourbon,
Well, there's a lot of
and that's a Scotch.
Well, yeah, I know there's a difference.
Okay.
So one's made out of grapes and one's made out of cat.
Yeah, that's how it
Not
works.
bad. It's not bad. We can get properly. And I've got backups over here too. So we're gonna finish that off tonight.
He's got backups for his plan.
So this was a gift.
What's Scotch made out of? What's the base ingredient in Scotch?
Lecha.
David, give us the rundown of your Scotch knowledge.
So which is very limited. I can tell you that it's going to be extremely similar to bourbon. The white grain or the white dog is going to be almost identical. Now, in the U.S. where we make proper alcohol in brand new charred oak barrels, bourbon has to be put in brand new charred oak. You can't reuse them, and you can't use different. The moment you put it in something else, it's just a whiskey at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch is not like that. Scotch can be put in sherry casks and port and other casks to age. Something I didn't know until my last Macallan tasting is that you are allowed to artificially color scotches as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You are not allowed.
I had no idea.
You're not allowed to do that with bourbon. So from a core,
I didn't know you could do that with Scotch.
Yeah,
That's
from a core, they're extremely similar because they're both whiskeys. And then once you get into the peat and the things like that, that's where it leaves my area of expertise, mainly because I don't drink it. So this was a gift. This is I had a friend go up to Alaska, and he came back and he brought me a bottle of Canadian maple whiskey.
Maple whiskey, okay.
Canadian maple whiskey. So I didn't know if I wanted to start with that.
Crack it open and see.
I didn't know if I wanted to start with that tonight or just finish off this Blanton's.
So do they use maple in the fermentation process, in the aging process? How do they do this?
Well, there's a little bit of a blurb on there. I'll take a look and see here. No additives, no preservatives. Comes with cardboard box. I don't know.
Okay. There you go. Good enough.
It doesn't say.
Well, give it a taste and we'll find it. It could be flavored. So, I have some flavored whiskeys over there. It could be flavored.
Yeah, it might. So you know what? Before I go to the blends, let's do this. Because if I get the Blantons and then I have that, I'm not going to give it a fair shake. Let's just be honest.
Give it a fair shake. Hey, by the way, while you're pouring that, I like your background, the red, white, and blue. It looks good, man.
Oh, it's so I got into the reds before and I'm like, I got that white guitar in the middle. So I threw the light ring there to give me the white glow. And I changed one of my lights to blue and I changed the guy over here to red. And I was like, what, that's very patriotic looking. Red, white, and blue back there.
I can see you on calls. I can see you on office calls, and you have that background, and people just losing it. Like that's super cool look.
So I'm usually over here working, and people, I can see them. They'll get there. Like,
they'll try and.
Is that whiskey? View. Is that whiskey back there? Is that bourbon back there? Like, yes, that is.
Why? Yes.
Like, or somebody's like, I love your guitars back there.
Matt has a question.
Okay, shoot the thrill, Matt.
Dave, I'd like to open the new package of Underdog Pumpkin and do a quick review.
It is pumpkin spice season, so everybody go to hang on. Go to underdogplus.com to get your pumpkin spice brew bones while they last. It's the seasonal flavor. This is not around all year round. So pumpkin spice, underdogplus.com. 20% of all profits go to local pet rescues.
Not recommended for humans, but oh my gosh, it's so good.
I can't legally tell humans they should eat them because they're dog treats.
Holy cow, are those
Yeah.
good.
But Matt eats
it's essentially a sugar-free cookie.
Yeah, it's basically a cookie with no sugar. So
A really good low ingredient cookie at that.
and that's why Matt's nose is always wet. He has a nice glossy coat.
Yeah.
My hair is
So-
super glossy.
So we've got a story on the front of the bottle here. We've got the story is a Canadian classic made with only pure Quebec. If you guys get that reference, congratulations. Allegedly, maple syrup, Rocky Mountain water. Matt got it. Rocky Mountain water and our small batch. This is a pot. It says it's pot distilled. So who's the other? I got a bottle of it back there. Who's the big company that does the pot still? The actual bottle looks like a freaking pot still. I can't remember what it is now.
Oh, the bottle?
But I've got a bottle of it back here.
No idea.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was one of my very early bottles. All right.
Okay.
We have broken the seal on my syrup.
David's broken his seal early in the evening.
There we go.
All right,
There we
let's see how it is.
Let's see. I'm not going to try to sniff it out of the bottle. I'll just look weird sniffing a Canadian bourbon or a Canadian.
Bunch of Canucks. So tell us, Mr. Trudeau, how's the whiskey?
Those fighting words right there. Let's pour enough in here to give it an honest shake there.
Let's see. All right.
There we go.
So basically half the bottle. Just
Possibly.
a big gulp size.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to set this aside. Mainly so I don't knock it over and ruin the podcast. All right. Let's give it a smell first. Now, I don't have a great sniffer yet. It's the sense of smell is still not fully
that's
back.
right. How are you going to give a review if you have no sense of taste or smell?
So the taste is kind of back. And the smell's there too, but it's not as strong as it used to be. I mean, I used to really be able to pick out subtle notes and whatnot and stuff, and now I'm just like, that doesn't smell like it's spoiled.
All right.
Oh, that is
Looking forward to
sweet.
this.
Oh my gosh, that is sweet. That is dangerous.
Well, it's
All right.
maple.
All right, I gotta look and see what the percentage is on this. Oh, that's why. Okay, it's 22. It's a 44 proof for 22% alcohol by volume.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
So this is a cordial.
Yeah, that's like an after dinner drink. That's not really a sipping bourbon.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to drink this quick so I can get the bourbon. But
actually, you could. I'll bet you could mix that and make like a nice mixed drink.
This right here, without adding simple syrup to it, you could make a super quick old fashioned out of this.
I'll bet you put that in like some eggnog. That'd be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
there's definitely some things. It's got potential.
Okay, good to know.
I wouldn't pour yourself a massive glass of it like I just did.
It's a big glass of maple syrup you got there.
But it's sweet. It's sweet when you put it in the realm of a whiskey.
Okay, fair enough.
It doesn't when I get into something that's too sweet, my teeth hurt like almost immediately. Like I drink a Coca-Cola or something like that, and I'm just like, and it's not physical; it's all in my head. I'm just like, because the taste of sugar just automatically makes me not a fan. I'm trying to complete.
Says the man who gives out full boxes of Little Debbie's at Halloween.
Oh, on that note, I finally contacted McKay, which is the people who own Little Debbie now, that does the distributing for it. I got them. They worked a deal with me. I'll have 200 boxes here on Monday of Little Debbie's. They came through. I've got my order from Oriental Trading Company for the prizes for the little. We're gonna have a few games outside for kids to come and just play and just win a couple extra prizes, and then they get a full box of Little Debbie's. So I was very happy.
That's awesome.
I was very happy to be able to actually get that to come through. And so I'm sorry, I'm going to lower my voice down.
Yeah.
I'm a little high.
So everybody with kids in the Syracuse area, go to David's house and load up on Little Debbie's.
First 200. That's it. Last year, I
get the same 5 kids that keep coming by in the different outfits.
There are a couple of them that come by, and they like, oh, I got him. Like, dude, I recognize you, man. So I
might just stamp their hands or something.
So that's exactly what I said the first year. Nikki's like, you can't do that, David.
Why not?
You
Get
can't
like a
do that.
really cool like Halloween stamp and be like, I got something extra for you.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Here you go. So I did the very first year. Was it first year? Yeah, the very first year I did this.
Yeah.
I sent a kid away empty-handed. He
Oh
comes.
no, because
He
you saw him twice.
he come. No. It was his first time. He came back later and got something, but I sent him away first time empty-handed.
Okay,
He
why?
walks up to the door, and I'm like, trick or treat. And what I do is I see how many kids there are, and I start grabbing boxes and I start handing the boxes out.
Okay,
And I
fair
gave
enough.
him XYZ pack. He said, I don't want this. Can I have another? And I'm like, okay. So I changed
You
it
get
again. He's
nothing.
like, nah, I don't want that either. And I said,
No soup for you.
I said, this is the last one. You either take this or you walk off my porch empty-handed. And I gave it out to him. And it was like strawberry rolls or something, like strawberry cream
Those are
rolls. Or something.
delicious.
I like them, and most people.
Dude, I
people
need a whole box of those in one sitting.
So I put it. He was like, nah, I really want. I'm like, get out of here, kid. And I
You
did.
said that to him?
I did. It's like, get out of here, kid. Like, go home, tell your parents, and they well, come on back. Come on back. I'll absolutely have that conversation with them.
Go cry to your mama.
Yeah. Is she hot?
Crying to your mama's tight.
Yeah, I had to behave. My wife, Nikki, is on a cruise, and she says I probably won't catch it. She goes, She told me I'm not allowed to be mean.
Yeah, look.
It's hey,
Try not to be mean to the.
You're not watching. You're fair game. That's just how it works. Now,
Matt asked if she's gonna be on a cruise over trick or treat.
no.
No, she's on a cruise right now.
Good. Then she's got the ability to reel them in.
Yeah.
Me? She don't have to reel me in.
She tempers your overly manly alpha male attitude. I'm trying to be complimentary here.
Alpha male, yes, that's me. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see. John Calendar says, I've got the comments now.
Oh, you got the comments.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it up here so I can keep track. Jeff Leffingwell says the cabin fever maple whiskey is risky. Huh. All right.
Cabin fever
maple whiskey is risky.
Say that 5 times fast
Yeah.
when you're
okay. I would like to drink a half a
Right.
bottle of cabin fever maple whiskey risky, and just see if I can actually get that sentence out. I don't think I can.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can't even say it sober. So.
And John says something about virgin wood, and I'm not really sure what that means.
I wouldn't read any of John's comments.
Well, I have to read all of John's comments to find out whether they're worthy of reading. But I'm just trying to think back of what were we. Oh, virgin wood is going to be talking about the barrels that we were talking about, the burning.
The barrels.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, he was on topic and it was appropriate.
Okay, so it just sounds inappropriate coming out of John's mouth.
When you have a comment coming from John, you just expect it to be a certain level of inappropriate at any given time.
Right.
Hey,
exactly.
Shelly's watching there. Hey, Shelly, how's it going? And hopefully we picked up a couple more because I networked pretty hard last night with some really good people down in New York City, and we had a blast. And so hopefully we'll have a couple people chiming in here and popping in. Especially if the guy that does the real estate stuff, ping me. I got ideas. I was thinking about all the way. I drove back from New York City this morning, and on the way back, I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I got a plan. And I started putting together a marketing plan for him while I was driving in the car, and how to kind of create him as a subject matter expert in a very specific niche in the world of real estate. So I really want to talk to him about that. So
yeah, David and I are the meme of those friends who everything is a business idea. So
yeah.
that was a good meme.
Somebody sent that to me. Somebody sent that to me. I don't remember.
You sent it to me, so I don't know where you got it from.
So somebody sent it to me.
Everybody watching and listening, I just want to say real quick.
Yes.
I apologize for not putting your comments on the screen. David's actually handling the technical side today. We're trying a little different software setup. So if it's a massive screw up and we crash,
it's my fault.
Everybody can blame David.
Yes, it's my fault. I like this because I can see when I'm getting too loud. Like if I like to lean in and talk to the mic and whatnot, but I don't have to do that. I can actually see it. Yeah.
Yeah, when you can actually see all the stuff in front of you.
You can actually see what's going on there. So that's good. Shelly says, sup, brother.
Hey, Shelly, how's it going?
Sup, yo.
David.
Yo.
A good idea for a real estate agent would be one who specializes in prepper. I wouldn't say houses, but like compounds.
easy throwing the word compound around on the internet. So I've got an uncle named David. My name's David as well. And we're in a family chat online or something along those lines, or on the Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, here's a compound that we could have." David, what do you think? And I'm like, "Hey, people named David are ill-advised to have things called compounds." Historically, the FBI has not been kind to people named David who have compounds. So let's just walk away from that.
Also, all of us are on all kinds of lists right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah. All the lists.
We're on all the lists. All the lists.
Yeah. So
it's
go ahead.
An interesting show considering you're doing the technical side. So, but anyway, yes.
I'm gonna show my Stream Deck. All right. I'm gonna show.
You're gonna share the whole thing.
I'm gonna show it. Okay. I'm gonna show what it looks like. And you'll see the buttons are all spaced out, like quite far apart. There's at least a button separation from every other button. And that is just so that I don't screw up and hit the wrong button accidentally. When we were setting this up earlier today, I'm like, I'm going to spread this out. Now there's another screen I can go to, and it's a little more compact, but that this is, and it tells me all the scenes, and we'll do this on one of the shows coming up once we fully understand the software, because this stuff is very powerful. For a free version software, OBS, Open Broadcaster Systems is what it's called. OBS is, and for what it is, and the integration with things like this is the Elgato Stream Deck. We've got one over with West, and we've got one here now. That I told you guys last week I probably wouldn't have it by this week, and I literally stumbled into one for like a fraction of the price. I'm like, I had to get it.
I need to start getting on Facebook Marketplace. You find all the good stuff on there.
Well, so my humidor, I spent $100.
I'm still jealous.
That humidor is
still
awesome.
Killing me. I'm jealous of that humidor.
Yeah, I love that humidor. That was a great find on there. And I do a lot before, like if I need a tool like a table saw or anything like that. I just bought a joiner off of there. And my first place to go is I don't go to Amazon anymore. I'd much rather get something for a fraction of the price, as long as it works. I don't care. Like,
right.
I'm not Bob Vila. I'm not actually, I'm not sure if anybody remembers who Bob Vila is at this point, but
hey, I used to watch Home Improvement. I know who Bob Vila is.
That's not the one. So yeah,
he was a guest star. He
was a guest on
Tim's
there.
rival.
He was a guest on there from time to time.
See, I know these things. I know some stuff.
Let's see here. Make whole prepper pad. That's Jeff Leffingwell. It says make whole prepper pad.
Right.
Back when we were talking about doing the prepper stuff for
doing the prepper thing. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So, Wes, do you have any news for us today?
I do have a little bit of news. You can. I
get to press the button.
Let me share my screen here. You can switch right over to the news.
I'm gonna hold the camera up so everybody can see it. This is what I've got to do now. I've got to press this button.
Okay. There you go. Can you?
Where did you go?
See the news.
Where did you go? Your camera's gone.
My camera's gone?
Oh no, you're up there. I don't know why it's not. It's not. Oh, there you are. You're in the middle of these guys.
Yeah. It's resized funny. I'm real small down there by that guy's leg.
You are.
So this one I thought was pretty cool. So this is the Wall Street Journal. And do you remember the episode of South Park where all of the handymen became millionaires?
Oh, yeah.
And all the people with like really nice jobs.
That was the movie. That was not the movie. That was the 2020 after COVID something or another.
Yeah.
One. Yeah. It was
hilarious.
hilarious.
And all the really nice jobs trying to like sell geology in front of Home Depot.
Yeah. Yes. Can I give you some geology? Yes.
Right. So this is actually like mirroring that. This is from Wall Street Journal. America's new millionaire class. Plumbers and HVAC entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah, I actually read this article the other day.
Right. Yeah. So private equity is pouring money into skilled trade, small businesses. Next thing you know, they'll be running an empire. So essentially, what this is saying is, you don't need these big useless degrees to make really good livings.
No.
The trade schools and tradecraft. I mean, there's so much more money right now. And honestly, the more technology advances with AI, especially. that's going to displace a lot of like marketing jobs, writing jobs, creative jobs. The money is going to be in these trade crafts because right now there's fewer people who actually can do plumbing, who actually can do HVAC, who can do handyman stuff. I can't fix a car to save my life, but guess what? I'm going to pay somebody who can when my car breaks down.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend going on Wall Street Journal. Don't pay this. Don't pay for the subscription.
Yeah, I didn't pay. But I read the whole entire article. I didn't pay a dime. Why? Because I didn't go to one of the sites that require you to pay. You can look at the name.
Find it online. It's a good article.
There is a risk with this because PE has been doing this with other companies as well, the other skilled trade companies. The problem is with certain ones of them, you have like a distributorship that goes along with it. There's risks here, especially with PE, because they don't look at what the actual market is, and there's a couple things that they are disconnected from what the business is. They only look at it from the business aspect up. They don't look at it from the business aspect down. They don't look at the customer. They don't look at that. They just look at, hey, did I get my margin? Did I get my revenue? Is my P&L where it needs to be? That's it. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
And when that starts to go down, then they go back into these companies and say, hey, you got to cut this many people, this person. What happens is typically, and this is cyclical. This has already happened before in the past. It kind of ebbed off for a while and has been making a pretty strong comeback here in the past 3.5 years or so. Really ramping up hard with these acquisitions for venture capitalists and PEs and whatnot. So
right.
Go ahead.
No, you're 100% right. So as this goes on more, you will see larger companies forming around these trade crafts. You're going to see much larger organizations and national companies forming around these trade crafts. Mostly funded by private equity.
Echo. Hey, hold on a second. We have an echo. So let's do this.
Oh,
right,
you know why?
Jeff,
Because it's the Skype audio. We were worried about that.
Yeah, so that was one of the things we wanted to check. And we said, we'll have to wait until somebody tells us that there's an echo. So basically we had the two audio feeds for you on this because we had to do the two different things. So I've got the one muted. Hopefully that fixed the echo. If somebody can out there, just let us know. If you still hear the echo on West side, just let us know.
Yeah. Again, this is a new technical setup we're doing. And unfortunately, this is one of those things we just don't know if there's an echo until somebody tells us.
Jeff says we got it fixed.
Nice. Thanks, Jeff. That's a big help.
That's good.
Shannon Darby died?
She died a while ago.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she died a while ago.
Goodbye, Shannon.
Trade craft.
Hey, one moment here. Matt, you were given instructions pre-show about staying on topic.
Matt.
I thought we were talking about that.
No. We're talking about how
not even
private equity and venture capitalist firms are buying up small businesses under the trade professions and lumping them together and building the weird way to say this, but micro conglomerates.
See, by my going off topic, it helped you guys to stay on topic.
Not even close.
I'm so good.
Hey, so David, what trade craft would you recommend a young person go into these days? What would be your top choice if you could go back in time and start over?
I will tell you right now that even in the field that I'm in, there have been some times when we've had downtimes, mainly because of acquisitions, where I was the lowest guy on the totem pole and I'd lose my job. And then, you're going to the one ads back in the day when that's what you did. HVAC is always hiring. Always.
It's true.
HVAC is even above plumbing. HVAC is just hands down. HVAC is the market. If you want to get the skilled trades and you want job security, HVAC is just probably one of, if not the absolute best one to go for. It's
there you go.
Got potential for massive amounts of money, and you can choose your way. The only downside I see to it is if, let's say, you go commercial or residential, you are either there to install or fix what is broken. So you're never hot when it's cold outside, and you're never cold when it's hot outside. So there are downsides that go with that.
Right.
That's why I stayed with fire protection.
There you go.
Life safety, baby.
Spiders
and
A lot of
bees.
spiders.
Lots of
Fair
spiders
enough.
and bees. But I mean,
Bees and spiders.
there's certain trades, electricians. I mean, that's the root of what I am as an electrician. I'm by trade, I'm an electrician, but then I'm fire alarm. I'm niched. I'm very niched down. So I'm high
Niches
demand.
get the beaches,
Niches
David.
get the
Niches get
beaches.
the
That's how
beaches.
it works. You see my wife. She's hot. I
Uh,
got the number one beach. She's
all
not on
right, so next
she's
piece of
on
news.
she's not on tonight to defend herself, so I can call her a beach all I want.
Oh yikes, Nikki, that was not me. That was all your loving husband.
I'm
All
sorry,
right, so next
sugar
piece of
whiskey
news.
just goes to my head. That is,
Ma-
I'll tell you, if you're just if you want to go somewhere and drink and not get clattered, there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that.
the maple whiskey. I'll
Yeah,
remember that.
it is. I'm only going to do one because it's too much sugar for me. But
That's a lot of sugar. It sounds like.
yeah, it is very sweet, and plus I got a bottle of Blanton sitting over there. So
There you go. All right, so next piece of news: man who accidentally threw hard drive containing 8,000 bitcoins worth $500 million in landfill sues local city council for not excavating the site.
yeah.
So
So
he accidentally threw away his hard drive with 8,000 Bitcoin on it, and he's suing the city for not helping him excavate.
yeah, I read the headline to this, and I was just like, well, all righty then, and move
How
on.
bad would that suck? How bad would that suck?
Was it $8,000 worth of Bitcoin?
8,000
or-
individual Bitcoins, and Bitcoin at one point topped around what, 72,000, whatever got
So
to.
this article says that the valuation is for a recent high of $64,000 per Bitcoin.
Okay.
So
So 64,000
it's
times
about
8,000.
$500 million worth, so about $500 million worth of
Not
Bitcoin.
even a real number.
So how bad would that suck though? You got like a thumb drive.
Yeah.
You accidentally throw it away and you're like, "Oh shit."
That's why I don't go with
So
Bitcoin.
How do you just leave that sitting around?
there was a
If you have this, how do you just leave it sitting on a desk?
yeah, there was a Big Bang Theory that talked about that. They had a jump drive, the
Yeah.
Batman jump drive, and they were talking about it with the comic book store owner right there, and he remembered. He
Uh-huh.
went back to a flashback where he remembered the day he found a Batman USB, and he wiped it out. He basically formatted the drive and resold it.
Oh,
He resold it
man.
for $5 or something, and it had Bitcoin on it, and just one Bitcoin, at a certain point, $64,000.
So it's funny. I remember back in 2010, there was
14 years ago.
I was kind of a geek back. I was kind of a nerd back then, doing a lot of computer stuff, and a buddy told me about this new thing, this mining thing you can do on your computer. I'm like, what are you talking about, mining? He's like, yeah. So basically, what you do is you let your computer run when you're off doing something else, and it'll generate this code that they call mining, and it makes these bitcoins, this string of code that is actually worth money. And you can like go online and like go to the dark web and buy like drugs and stuff with it. It's super cool. I'm like, first of all, I don't do drugs. Second of all, this kind of sounds stupid. Like it sounds like a scam. I'm totally not doing this. And back in 2010, when Bitcoin was like pennies, Nobody knew what this thing was. Nobody cared what this thing was for the most part. It was very, very niche nerd thing. And had I been mining since then, I would probably be doing pretty well for myself by now, just on Bitcoin.
Jeff Leffingwell says I would excavate with a spoon for half.
Oh man, can you imagine everybody? So this was in England somewhere, and can you imagine everybody in that country just descending on this town's landfill with shovels, trying to find this thing? You know for a fact there's people all night long just sifting through garbage and dirty diapers trying to find this USB drive.
I would not only find it, but I would find it.
Because that's the thing. So that's the thing about cryptocurrencies. Once you have the passcode, the pass key,
Cheers.
there's nothing stopping you from using it. It's yours. That's all you need to get it
I would not even
to
know
access
how to
the
cash
Bitcoin.
it in.
You come to me, and for a small nominal fee, I will help you.
How much? Like $20?
Like half.
Half of $20?
No, 50% of whatever's.
I like
it's worth.
that. You said half of $20.
Half of $20. So it's, I mean, oh man, I can't imagine what this guy is. Imagine like your heart sinking through your chest when you realize you threw this thing away.
Yeah, as you're getting up and you're headed to your Blimpie subs job on
Oh
Tuesdays,
man.
and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm worth $500 million. Well, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're worth a lifetime of searching through a freaking landfill.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I can't.
You have to let things just go.
And in sort of a related note, I didn't bring up the news article, but I just read another article about how China used quantum computers to break some of the most sophisticated security, digital security in the world. Meaning, there are actually people worried that China now has the ability to actually crack the
blockchain.
Blockchain.
Yeah.
The blockchain.
And
they can actually access Bitcoin.
If we want to go back in time to one of the earlier episodes we talked about this, I gave that warning. I gave the warning that you would be able to crack. I mean, all you have to have is 51%. 51% of the block has to agree. Once that agrees, that you change the block.
Well, and that's it. So quantum computers. And the thing is, it's basically a national security issue now. If they're using quantum computers to crack security codes, there's nothing stopping them from accessing banks, from accessing military facilities, government facilities, because they're not using blockchain for their security. They're actually just using normal security procedures. Yeah. I mean, it's and chances are they've had this ability, and we've had this ability for quite some time since the advent of quantum computing. We've been able to do this. We just haven't really openly admitted it yet. But now they're openly admitting that they can crack all this security. So it's a different world, man.
What have I always told you guys? The internet was a bad idea.
Well, look. Obviously, since we're streaming on the internet, it has its high points.
We're not it, but
we are not it. But it's somewhere out there.
It's out there.
All right, and the final piece of news
out there.
The first object in 4 dimensions printed beyond our capacity for comprehension. They've actually used a 3D printer to print things that we can't even conceive of, David.
That makes no sense.
It's in the headline. It's literally right here.
Yeah,
you did this to compete with the idiots that have been on there going, it has an infinite battery.
The first object printed, 4-dimensional object printed using a 3D printer.
Is that the Babylon Bee?
Let's see. No, this is a real science. This is eco.
You know what? To be fair, I will give him that question. That was an actual good. And
that was a good response.
Actually, a valid response to see if it's just satire.
So, exploration of the 4th dimension, well known in literature and theoretical physics, became a realistic theme only a few years ago. The leap was made when the first object printed using 4D printing technology, a technological enhancement over traditional 3D printing, obviously.
Obviously. But
what is 4D printing in the first place, and why is yada yada yada? Understanding transitional. So basically, it's a 3-dimensional object. They used a 3D printer, but it can react in real time to things like heat and cold and water or air. So basically, it's
an object,
a 3D printed object.
It's an object
that we're not able to comprehend.
Yeah, so Jeff Leffingwell's comment here was great. It says, I was seeing 4D back in the 60s.
Exactly. If you can see the 4th, I mean, technically we can all see the 4th dimension. We experience it at all times. But if you actually perceive the 4th dimension, you got some good stuff.
I mean, that's a whole new printer. I mean, how do you get 4D cartridges for your printer? I mean, how do you like, I'm going to be like, well, I've got 3Ds. Can you give me one more D?
Yeah. Can I? So, Can I have the Mobius strip version of that?
Yes. I'm out of Mobius strips here. Yeah, that's a good one. To get to the same side. Ciao.
Oh, that's the 4D chicken joke.
Yeah. Why the chicken crossed the Mobius strip? In case, just so everybody has the full joke, why the chicken crossed the Mobius strip. to get to the same side. Okay,
There you go.
Now you guys
There
have
you
the
go.
full
Nerd
joke. You
joke.
guys are. It's not my joke. You're welcome to use it. I clearly stole it from somebody else too. But it's funny.
It's a 3D representation of fourth dimensional space. I don't have a strip of paper handy.
And it also is a representation
later.
of folding a ribbon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have any paper or ribbon handy, but I'll show you later.
All right.
Yeah. But but they just printed a four-dimensional object
But
that
we
can't
can't
even
comprehend. So that right there, I can see, and I comprehend that that's 3 dimensions. So I guess the fourth dimension part that I can't comprehend, well, is invisible.
I mean, technically, everything that we're perceiving is fourth dimensional objects because they exist in time.
Oh man, Jeff Leffingwell has some competition for the top comment tonight. That I was seeing 4D in the 60s. That one's good. That was good. But David Rowland comes in with 1.21 gigawatts.
And if you're saying it that way, you have to say gigawatts.
You got to do it. Yeah, you have to.
You can't say
1.21 gigawatts. I mean, you got to do it. So, you've met Ricky, right? My cousin Ricky.
Yeah.
We got drunk. We're drunk one night. We're watching.
We all know Ricky. Everybody knows Ricky.
We're drunk one night. We're watching Back to the Future, and that part comes on, and for some reason, man, it was just the funniest thing we'd ever heard. With the gigawatts, being an electrician, you kind of overlook goofy things like that. Like, oh, he said gigawatt. But I bet it was on DVD, and we backed it up, and we must have replayed that one section like 30 times. Like 30 times. Now, we were blitzed, but it's not that damn funny.
But to nerds, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it was definitely worth a giggle. But we took it a lot
So
further.
yeah, they keep talking about remaking Back to the Future, and if they do, they have to say gigawatts. They can't change to gigawatts.
Yeah.
They have to say gigawatts.
Well, I'm never going to sign off on it.
Yeah, well, they'd be going back to the 90s.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be nearly as entertaining. I don't know. It wouldn't be the same.
There was another movie they put a reference out for that as well, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You don't need to tell us that kind of shit. It's perfectly acceptable to keep that kind of stuff to yourself.
There you go.
They'd be going back to what, 1993 or 1994 at this point.
Yeah. Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, back in, what was it, 2013, it was when he went to the future. Was it 2013?
I think it was 15. He was 15. 2015.
That was 10 years ago. We still don't have flying cars or hoverboards.
We're just a handful of days away from, let's face it, we're at the end of 24. We're going to be at 25 here, so 10 years. It's a decade. It's a decade after Back to the Future.
We're supposed to have a decade after. So Matt says we have hoverboards. We have like an electric skateboard.
We have
wheels.
A fire hazard. That's what we got. So they got floating skateboards.
Oh, that doesn't count.
We got floating They got floating skateboards. We got a fire hazard. That's what we got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have something that runs on lithium-ion batteries. Highly unstable versions of lithium-ion batteries, by the way. They're not all unstable, but the ones in the hoverboards absolutely are. I would definitely recommend getting some sort of a good VOC sensor to monitor that in your home.
Yeah, I might know a guy.
You might have some connections. That's all the news, David, if you want to switch back to the main scene.
All right, here we go. I get to hold the camera thing up again here.
There you go.
I'm probably going to press this button, and then I'm going to have to readjust your screen again, I'm betting.
Probably.
And yes.
You gotta readjust.
All right, here we go. Let's bring you up here. Sorry, folks. We're not sure why it does this, but it does.
That's crazy. And now you got to reshare with me also so I can see what you're doing.
All right, here we go.
But I don't know why it does that. We'll have to find a way around that. So this is one of the learning curves we're going to figure out along the way.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Back to this.
Nice.
And it looks like everything's back to normal.
Looking good.
Yeah. So I have no idea. Earlier today, as we're shifting and fumbling through all of the screens, it didn't impact anything. Everything worked exactly the way that it was supposed to.
It's funny. This sort of thing only happens while you're live.
Yeah.
It never happens during setup or practice or prep.
Yeah. We actually tested this stuff today, and I didn't even get a nap time today. Just so you guys know, I sacrificed my nap time so that I could test this.
That's bad, man. First world problems. No nap.
Yeah,
I
no
feel for
nap.
you.
So, yeah. So that's it. We do have
But we do have a main
we do have a
topic.
main topic tonight.
And the funny thing is, I don't have my normal timer to see how long we've been live, so I'm going to rely on you. We do have a main topic, though.
I don't know. Let's see. It's 9:25, so nearly.
We've been going for so I can check on Facebook over here. We've been going for 47 minutes. All right. But we do have a main topic.
Yeah.
Which is the 4 steps to realizing your ideal life. And what got me thinking about this when I was writing the agenda is I have some other irons in the fire, some things I'm working on. But to be able to do those things effectively, I need a new skill set. And in that skill set, I need a new vocabulary. I need a new lexicon. I need a new way of identifying in order to really get into the mode to achieve the things that I need to do over there. Right? So to basically the old saying of what got you here won't get you there really applies, and it got me thinking that when you really want to reach that next level, that next plateau, you can't rely on old habits, on old skills. You need to act and be that next level person to reach those next level goals. Because David, you've noticed this. Matt, you've noticed this. Whenever you're speaking to a high level person at a company, they have a certain way of speaking. Yeah. They have a certain way of acting. Sometimes it can come off in a bad way. They can seem like kind of a douchebag or something like that. But
very douchebaggy.
The thing is they're in that role primarily because they have a certain skill set. They have a certain set of skills,
Or their dad was a
or their dad owned the company before them.
Set of skills.
But either way, there's a reason why Jim Bob, who mops the floor at night, is never going to get to the point where he's the CEO of the company.
So Jeff has really simplified this down in the comments here. You need a great hook. And that's a very simple way of putting something that can be, extremely David Rowland says computer hacking skills.
That helps too, especially if you have a quantum computer and you can hack somebody else's
Bitcoin.
The
blockchain.
Hack the blockchain.
I noticed something about CEOs and some high-level executives in the way they dress. They never have sweater pills. The little balls of sweater.
Because they can afford new sweaters.
They literally always have smooth sweaters. That's how you can tell it. And I am not kidding. when I was trying to identify restaurant owners, and it was Chevy Tahoes and smooth sweaters.
Smooth sweaters. They sell the sweater shavers. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these, you can always tell like a smooth sweater versus a shaved sweater. There's a distinctive difference.
See, I think you can always tell by the shoes. You can always tell by the shoes.
I swear to God, smooth sweaters and really nice polos.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll have to smoothen out my sweaters.
Yeah, I'm happy right now that I don't own a sweater.
When you get to a certain dollar, when you are worth a certain amount, something happens to your sweaters where they smooth themselves out.
I think it's called the help. It's kind of how like when you're married, your laundry magically gets done by itself.
Oh my God, I left my laundry sitting for 2 days.
Yeah.
Today it's done.
It's magic.
Folded and put away.
I know.
Who did that?
It's you reach that level. You haven't reached the level to where you have smooth sweaters, but you've reached the level to where your laundry does itself.
I do the laundry here.
Right. So David is the laundry fairy of his house.
I'm the laundry fairy.
My house did it?
Yes, he comes to your house and does your laundry.
No, I did not do that. I did not do that.
I love how he folds my underwear.
I have no comments. I'll leave that to you guys. All right. So the 4 steps to realizing your ideal life. And this can be for, a career. This can be just personal improvement. This could be for relationships. This stuff always applies.
All right. This is bold, though. What you are saying right now is bold. If you mess this up in any way, you're taking a very bold step forward here.
Everything I do is bold.
I'm cautioning you.
Everything I do is bold.
Right, you be bold, then you just go be bold.
I have facial hair now. I'm allowed to be bold.
Go be bold.
Yes.
I have facial hair and smooth sweaters, sir.
Exactly. I'm going to drink a Dos Equis, and you can call me the most interesting man in the world.
Yes.
All right. So The first thing. So here's the thing. So the agenda is set up in kind of a weird way. The actual 4 steps don't come along till later, but there's a couple pre-steps you got to get into. So the first one is understanding the importance of change, right? So the first thing is you need to understand what you're actually going after. Set your goals appropriately. Um, when it comes to change, are you changing just because you think something needs to change, or are you changing to meet a specific goal down the road? That's what you need to look at. So in the past, we've talked about a lot about goal setting. Here, you're past goal setting. You have your goals. You have your roadmap leading back. You have your mile markers along the way. Now, understand the change that needs to take place to get you to that goal, right? You're not changing for change's sake. You need to make changes appropriate to reach specific goals. If you want to be a CEO of Harley Davidson, not I'm just naming random companies, of Harley Davidson, you're going to need a different skill set than if you want to be, the chief marketing officer of a local ad agency. You're going
Yeah.
to need a different
And
skill
Harley
set. You're going to need a
Davidson is
different
in
lexicon.
Milwaukee, so you're going to need definitely get those sweaters.
Right, you're going to need a very different skill set depending on what your goals are. So understanding the importance of change, understanding what you want to do with that change. So that's a really big part of it, is just understanding where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, you don't know how to get there. And if you don't know how to get there, you'll never get to where you want to go in the first place. So
There's
it's kind of a little circular.
there's an old saying with sailing, if you don't have a destination, no wind is favorable.
That's a really good saying. I
Yeah.
like that.
That's one that I've come across a couple times. And I said,
I
okay.
didn't know you were such a seaman, David.
Boy, he can't help it, can he? He can't help it.
I'm being complimentary. You're bringing up nautical.
I'm a exemplary seaman,
proverbs
West.
here. This is good.
I'm the best.
I mean,
I'm the
look,
best seaman. There's never been a better seaman than I am.
I knew you were a master debater. I didn't know you were such a great seaman.
Dude, you're gonna break him back there, man. It's like torturing your preteen or early teen kid at Thanksgiving, cousin or nephew or something like that at Thanksgiving, and just making him lose it. And his mom's like, "How do you know those words?"
I'm looking forward to the day when I get called to the principal's office because my son or daughter says something inappropriate in school, and I'm just gonna laugh.
Yeah.
And probably continue to get my son or daughter into trouble. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that day.
I dare you to give them detention. I dare you.
Well, it doesn't matter what they do. I promise I've done much worse.
I was like,
so
he acted up at home last night. I didn't freaking call you.
I'm going to use that. That's a good one. David's had that one in storage for a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, my son was well behaved and didn't really cause any problems.
Yeah, you have good kids. I think.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
You have abnormally good kids. I think I might end up in the same boat as you, David, where I have all this great pent up energy waiting to go out into the world, and I'm not going to be able to use it.
Yeah. So no, the daughters lead me to believe that I'm going to get to use some of these tactics later. She's a beast.
Penny. Yeah, when Penny gets a little older, she's going to be a hellraiser.
I think when she's now.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. So there was a picture that was posted today. I think Nikki posted it today of I think we were in Florida. At a Harley Davidson shop down in Florida, and she's on the background. She's got this face on that's just that girl is nothing but attitude. Absolutely nothing but attitude. All right, so
that's awesome.
We're talking about the different skill sets between being your local Avon savant and the CEO of Harley Davidson. Actually, those two are the same now.
Yeah,
yes,
well, yeah,
Harley Davidson. That was a direct dig at you.
That's why I didn't make CEO comparisons. I said like CEO of Harley versus the CMO of an ad agency. Yeah. You're gonna have very, very different skill sets, different lexicons. I mean, you're gonna have different ways of behaving in meetings. I mean, all that's going to be different, but you need to set that end goal in order to understand what you need to do to get there, how you need to change. Mm-hmm. So understanding the importance of change, but also understanding what type of changes need to take place to actually get there. So, certain things that I'm doing, I'm actually looking at other CEOs and different people in similar industries that I'm getting into and understanding what they've done, the mistakes they've made, the successes they've had along the way, how they got there, looking at life stories and anecdotal evidence from individuals who've actually been there and paved that way before me, understanding the changes that I need to make in order to get to that goal that I want to get to. So you need to do the same thing regardless of what that goal is, but understand the importance of change, understanding the changes you need to make to actually get there.
Hey, let me tell you guys about the huge mistake I made today in class.
Does
Is it on topic?
It's very on topic.
Okay.
All right. Wait. We need a penalization if he's not on topic, like a kick in the nuts or something.
Well, I'm not going to let you kick me in the nuts, but you can scold me roundly.
We shall shake our fingers firmly in your general direction.
So today in professional practices class, we're doing a volunteer.
Who in the
program.
holy hell in that whole entire school has any idea of professional practices?
Well, I thought
it's art school.
I thought I did. So we're doing a volunteer program with a local charity, and the students were bad mouthing the charity, and so after class was almost done, I said let's, since this is professional practices class and it's supposed to be preparing everyone for a professional career, let's pretend next week that we're actually a marketing agency and we don't badmouth our clients. Well, I found out from West and from the professor that in these ad agencies and these types of meetings, they very often are making fun of their clients.
There's a fair amount of shit talking that takes place.
Yeah, I was wrong. The environment was completely different than what I'm used to.
And it's never really in a mean, bitter way. Usually not in a mean, bitter way. It's usually in a way that is cathartic to the people who have to do the work.
That's exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was completely out of my element because I'm thinking like a sales meeting where you don't badmouth your clients, because that's contagious. Here, it was an entirely different atmosphere. I completely miscalled it. I was wrong.
So that's a great story. I have to ask you, though, how does it relate to what we're talking about?
Because you're talking about two different types, the different types of approaches. CEO of this company is going to be a different type of person or a different approach than the CEO of this company.
And they all shit talk their clients?
So I'm going to tell you a story about using peanut butter, and I put grape jelly on the sandwich, and on the other sandwich, I put petroleum jelly on the sandwich. And we're trying to make a connection of how just two different things connect to what we're actually talking about.
You know what? Ask Jeff. Jeff gets it. Jeff gets it.
Just like, don't eat the petroleum jelly. That's bad for you.
That's look, whatever you're into, I'm sure you wouldn't be the first. All right. So understanding the change, understanding why you need to make the change and what change you need to make, depending on what those goals are. Very, very important. That's
Jeff says I'm with Matt on this one.
There you go.
All right.
My man.
You knew you'd have a fan there.
Oh man, that was good.
All right. So first step, understanding the change. Second step is leaving the past behind. And this can be a big one. A lot of people have their whole egos wrapped up in their past, who they are, how they got to where they are. And look, it's great to be proud of who you are and what got you to where you are. I have great pride in what got me to where I am. But I also have to understand what got me here won't get me there, right? What got me here got me to a great plateau. I'm in a very good place, right? But it's not going to get me to the next plateau. I need to make changes. And to make those changes, that doesn't mean throwing away my past. That means making necessary changes and adding to my current story, right? So when I say leave your past behind, that doesn't mean throw it away. That means write the next chapter in the book, right? Write the next chapter, add to your story, build upon yourself. Self-improvement doesn't mean forsaking everything that came before. It means improving upon what already exists. Keep it and make it better at the same time. Understanding what got you here won't get you there. And here's another thing, a little kind of short saying that I heard somewhere years ago and I love. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're kind of spinning your wheels. Nothing changes. You're never going to reach that next plateau until you make the necessary changes.
So we have dropped some great little stoic one-liners tonight.
Yeah.
And last night I bought a website.
Uh-oh.
Drunkenstoic.com.
Drunken Stoic. That's a good one. That's a really good one, David.
know. And I'm
so
sitting there.
You got to get the socials on that. Get the socials while you can. That's a good one.
Definitely going to move on those. But drunkenstoic.com I bought last night.
I like that.
I wasn't drunk, but it was like this could be this could be good. Needed to hear that,
There
West.
you go.
Yeah, and I think, even as I'm sitting over here, I think what he's talking about, this is Brandon Dalton. Used to be one of our top guys over at Hofbrau House, man. He was one of the guys that really jumped in and took, like would come and chill and stuff with us and everything. He's a good kid. He moved up to Cleveland. I think you're in Cleveland now, right? Not Hofbrau, but I think you live up in Cleveland now, Brandon. Let us know. Because then it's at least a reason to go to Cleveland to say hi to Brandon. No other freaking reason.
The last
to go
time
there.
I was in, I did some work in Cleveland. Last time I was there, they pulled a body out of the lake. Didn't even make the paper. It was just commonplace.
Yeah. So I think he's talking about the, what got you here won't get you there. And I was thinking the same thing about letting go. I've looked at, how much I put into getting where I'm at. And, you were talking about the difference in the actions and the attitudes and the vernacular that person has in the meetings and so on and so forth. And I literally have this in the past week and a half been trying to curb myself and say, you know what, this is what got me here, without even knowing this. This is what got me here. This is not what's going to get me there. And I didn't know, I didn't have the words for it. So that was great. I mean, your topic is really good. And I say your topic because Wes completely comes up with all the topics. And
most of the topics, it's team effort.
Today, because I'm running the show, I seen that we had an agenda. I pulled it up on the screen when he was on the phone or on the Skype call with me. I closed it back down and I never opened it again because everything went into this. And then I was working. I got buried in work until a little after 5. And then as soon as I got done with it, I had to grab Penny and get off to soccer practice. I came back, I sat down in the chair, turned it back on, and here we are. So
yeah, this is my revenge. Now you get to see all the technical crap that I would have to normally put up with.
So Matt Harmon is now he's now hawking his autograph for $5. So the comment section have went downhill.
It could be worth something one day. I wouldn't, I wouldn't invest lots of Bitcoin in it, but if you're hacking Chinese hacking American computers for the blockchain, why not? So leave your past behind. That doesn't mean throw your past away. What got you here is great. It's important. It's a great part of your story, but continue adding to that story. Again, what got you here won't get you there. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Keep that in mind. He just now heard that. All right. I said it 5 times. He just now got that. All right. So first was understanding the importance of change. Second, leave the past behind. Number 3, embrace change for growth. So sometimes reaching the next level is a complete shift from where you've been to where you're going. It can be. And it's hard to embrace that because, like we said in the second step, leaving the past behind, you have a lot of ego wrapped up in who you are and your story that got you here. And any kind of like fairly big changes can be a hit to your ego. I know from working in the corporate level, anybody who's not at the executive level at a big corporate agency, they shit talk the executives constantly.
Oh, those executives.
Constantly. Everybody with a VP in their name, everybody in the C-suite, they're shit talking. They're so out of touch, yada, 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 at the same time. So when you actually start making necessary changes to reach those levels yourself, it can be an ego hit because you kind of feel like you're being a phony. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm better than those people. I don't want to act like that CEO or that CMO or, that VP who's out of touch. But at the same time,
I don't remember what situation I was in. It wasn't that long ago. And somebody was talking about they could do the CEO doesn't do anything, the millions of bucks. And I said, you know what, if I drug the CEO in here and said, this is this guy, this is his title, the CEO is going to know, he's not going to know the ins and outs of your job, but he's going to know what your job is. If I asked you to tell me what the CEO's job is, you have no clue. You have no idea what they actually do. You're telling us that they're so disconnected, but you don't really even know what they do. And I'm just as bad. When I see a disconnect from your customer and your core base, I struggle with that because I'm like, hey, those are the people bringing the money in. But guess what? We're the ones at my level. We're the ones that are supposed to be responsible for that. This
Right.
that guy, he's responsible for something else, and I happen to know what it is. But
Right.
a lot of the
If
people I
he knew
have
how to do your job,
conversations,
he wouldn't need you.
yeah, yeah. If he wanted to do my job, he wouldn't need me. There's a difference. He wants to do his job.
Well, also, yeah, and also, ask any ask any C-suite executive how many hours per week they work.
More,
They couldn't even tell you.
yeah.
Ask them how many days they work. They're going to say 6 to 7 consistently, all the time.
So
C-suite executives, believe it or not, they actually work more. I mean, they're working well over 40 hours. They're working, 68 hours, 60, 80 hours a week. But you don't see it because guess what? That's not part of your world. You're not seeing it.
You know what? A lot of their work though is just they're in the office. Doesn't mean they're working.
Well, that can be true, but there's a different type of work also.
I can say that's
sitting
true
on
of a lot of
calls,
other people as well.
we're talking to investors. Right. I know a lot of people who are, mid-level managers who would spend at least half their time just surfing Facebook. That's it. That's all they're doing all day.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. So, you need to ask yourself, with the most successful version of yourself, think of yourself, imagine yourself in the future. The most successful version of yourself. Would this person be complaining all day? Would they be asking for breaks or wishing they didn't have to work that day? Probably not. It's probably a pretty successful person who's on the ball.
Sure.
Yeah, they probably get some good time off. They play hard because they work hard. And that's one of the things that comes along with being a higher level. You get those benefits.
It is nice.
But at the same time, working your ass off when you're working. So the most successful version of yourself in your imagination, is this person complaining all day? Are they whining they're not getting the right time off? Are they, asking for breaks, 5 times a day because they'd rather go be doing something else? Probably not. So why are you doing that now?
Do you know who the CEOs
You need to adjust
are
your
whining to?
behavior appropriately. What's that?
You know who the CEOs are whining to?
They're psychologists,
Their wives.
their wives,
Yeah.
or
because they're sure as hell not whining down.
their mistresses. Yeah, they're not whining down.
Whining down.
Did you just say they're mistresses?
Yeah.
If you want to complain up. Never complain down.
Well, that's right. And that's why being a middle manager, I think being a middle
Saving
manager might be
Private
one of the
Ryan.
hardest-
so hard.
middle management might be one of the hardest areas
Yeah.
in a company because
It really is.
you get the shit coming up and you get the shit coming down.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's why
That's a good point, Matt.
that's why there a lot of them are just assholes.
Well, that's that great point he brought up is why Matt's been so financially successful according to other people that we know.
Super successful.
Wait a minute, I thought it was why he's not been financially. Oh, I get it. You guys are joking.
You got the reference. There you go. It took you a minute. I'm not going to mention names. You get the reference.
Oh, I got it. I got it immediately. I was
There you go.
just being double facetious on that.
So embrace change for growth. You need to like I mentioned earlier, you got to set your ego aside. You need to actually adopt the changes that you need to make based on those goals you have long term.
God, man,
See, all
that
things
is
have
a
built on each
simple
other.
sentence. You need to set your ego aside. Damn, that's tough.
It's a big part of it because a lot, again, step 2 was leave your past behind, right?
Leave
And a
your
lot of us
past
have our
behind.
ego built up in our past. We're so proud of what made us who we are. We're so proud of what got us to where we are. And we wish we could reach that next level. And we're constantly striving and struggling and saying, why can't I reach that next level? At the same time, you're reveling in what got you to where you are. Take your ego out of it.
Uh-oh.
Take
Hey,
your
Nicole
ego
Leffingwell's
out.
watching, so we got to behave now.
Uh-oh. Nikki, whatever David said earlier in the podcast was not me. That was absolutely not me. That was your husband. You're a lucky lady. So you got to take your ego out of it, right? So you can make those changes. You can keep your story. Just write the next chapter in that story. That's what it's all about. So again, nothing changes if nothing changes. All these things build upon each other.
Yep.
All right. So number 4 is actually the actual list of 4 points. These are all what we just went through was the pre-conditioning for these 4 points. So number 4 here is the practical steps to embody your ideal self. You ready for this, David?
That was listen, I can't tell if you're joking or not, is what Nikki says. She says, I can't tell if you're joking or not.
She doesn't even know
Yeah,
anymore.
she doesn't know.
This is
I mean, to be fair, we mess with each other.
be fair.
To be fair,
be fair.
we do mess with each other pretty pretty consistently, so it's okay to be a little confused. It's all fine, sweetie. You're hot.
Yeah, nothing. He didn't say anything that you should remotely be concerned about or look back in earlier in
Yeah,
the
and
podcast
absolutely
about.
don't go
He
back
said
and look
nothing.
at it.
Don't even bother.
Please stop.
Don't
It's
even
just don't
bother
think
looking at
about
that
it.
first half of the show.
Yeah, I mean, just
There's
pick up
nothing
from where
there.
you are and go on. And all we did was made it worse.
We did. All right. So the four here are the 4 practical steps to embody your ideal self. Okay. Number one. This is going to sound kind of hippy dippy, but I'm telling
what
you,
you just
it
said
works.
sounded hippy dippy.
But was I wrong about any of it?
Well, no, what you did, literally the sentence you just said, the 4 practical steps to embody your ideal self.
I'm telling
Chapter
you,
1.
it's going to make all the difference.
This is
This is going to
audible.
sound like hippy dippy nonsense. You need to visualize your ideal self. What do I mean by that?
You need to build triangles
visualize your
and
ideal
hold
self.
crystals.
You need to make a vision board and a shrine to Oprah Winfrey. No, you need to spend time each day picturing your ideal self. What habits and routines will you follow? How do you approach challenges? And look, this isn't just about like visualization. If you visualize it, it will magically appear. No, this is actually
Manifest.
conditioning your mind. It's not. Yeah, it's not manifestation. This is actually just conditioning your mind to being at that next level, right? If you're just constantly in the, I love who I am and I love what got me here, I'm just going to sit here and drink a beer and watch Family Guy again for the 20th time in a row, that's fine. But at the same time, it's not going to get you to the next level. I love it too. They have a great holiday special, Halloween special that just came out.
Oh, it just came out?
It's on Hulu now.
I watch the clips that I get occasionally on Facebook. And what's crazy is when you get into one, it's like, oh, you like Family Guy. And you go through 15 or 16 of
the algorithm. The Matrix got you.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man.
Okay, fine.
The Matrix got you.
So we kind of talked about this a little last week about
visualization,
about your focus, where you're about you'll succeed at where your focus is. Or what was the word you said there?
Your energy goes where your attention flows.
Oh, yeah, that's it. It was some other hippie.
Where your energy flows where your attention goes.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah, it's another hippy dippy thing you said.
It sounds hippy dippy, but it really makes sense when you
it's true.
Look at what it means.
It's true. Hold on a second. I messed up. My phone.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right, we're good again.
Okay.
I lost everybody's old comments though.
But visualizing your ideal self isn't necessarily about where your energy goes, yada yada yada. Again, spend time each day picturing your ideal self, what your routines will be, what your habits are going to be, how you're going to approach challenges. That's not about energy.
I wake up in the morning next to my smoking hot wife.
It's literally
I do that already. Boom.
Well, there you go. You're already to the next level, David.
That's
it's about conditioning your mind to understand what it's like to be at that level, right? Because again, if your mind is still at the drinking beer in front of Family Guy level, you're never going to be at the level of, billionaire CEO, because I promise you, they're not sitting down drinking a Budweiser.
So richest man in the
Family Guy
world
every single night.
Does more interviews than the next 5 combined in a week.
Yeah. Exactly.
And somebody asked me the other day, how many days a year do you work? And he's like, I take off, or how many days off do you get a year? And he says, I work 7 days a week.
That's it.
And I work 7 days a week. I take 3, maybe 4 days off a year. Because some days it's easier work, but I work and do something every single day. Now, I won't do that. I will never be the richest man in the world.
And that lifestyle is not for everyone. In fact, most people are not built for that lifestyle. It's just not physically possible for most people. Most people are going to be great where they're at. Another group of people are at this place, but they're going to be great over here. They just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
Other people are going to be great over here. They don't know how to get there. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So I found that you can use a computer simulation to help you immerse yourself into the type of lifestyle or the type of life you want. Now, mine is Red Dead Redemption 2, which really immerses me into the type of cowboy I want to be.
Remember the staying on topic thing?
This totally stays on topic.
All right, Jeff, we need another ruling. Is playing random video games a direct correlation to what we were talking about. In fact, I would say it's the exact opposite.
You know what? I literally want to be a cowboy, and this is helping me to funnel that inner cowboy.
You do have the hat.
I know.
You have the hat already.
The boots.
All right. So number 1 was visualize your ideal self. Again, that goes along with setting your goals.
Ah, Jeff said no. You're out.
Yeah, even Jeff said no.
That's a kick in the nuts.
And number two on this list is actually setting clear goals. You need to define specific, actionable goals that you can say, this is where I need to be, and work backwards from there. We've talked about road mapping and setting goals. So set a very
common topic,
identifiable goal, and say that's where it is, and then build a roadmap backwards from there, and set steps along the way, and say, I need, by this point in the road, I need to be at this point. By the next time marker, I need to be at that point in order to reach that end goal. But you need to set clear, actionable goals if you want to make real, noticeable change. Again, whether it's your career, personal life, dating life, whatever your goal happens to be.
Well, the clear, actionable goals apply to everything.
Well, that's exactly it. Most people don't do that, though. Yeah. Most people, I just go with the flow. I'm just, I'm living okay. I'm doing all right. I'd love to be over there. I'd love to be doing that thing, but it's nebulous. People can't set solid goals. It's just a cloud in the back of the mind to where they'd like to be. They don't know how to get there. They don't even think about it. But they always complain they can't get there.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You can get there. You just need to set the goal and work backwards.
I need more phones.
You do need more phones. I need
more phones.
I do not miss the days of walking around with multiple cell phones in my pocket all day, every day.
You really hated that.
It was so annoying.
Yep.
So annoying.
So you walk around with them all the time. Only during business hour, during my business hours, I have my phone. Yeah. My work phone with me. After that thing gets set over here. It's on silent. I don't touch it. I'll see. I'll talk to you in the morning. Right. I'm very particular about it.
Right. So the first step was visualizing your ideal self. Second was setting identifiable goals. The third is adopting new routines, right? So this is a big one. Again, you got to take your ego out of things. And this is where the change starts to actually take a noticeable effect. You need to start implementing the routines that your ideal self would follow, right? Think about what your ideal self would do. Set those routines accordingly to what that person would do, as if it's a whole different person. Act like what that person would do. Whether it's exercising regularly, reading more, networking, all of these habits gradually reshape your life and how you live your life. And again, that's why taking your ego out of it really makes a big part. In the past, a lot of people have talked about fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And, and that's sort of been debunked a little bit. You can't fake it till you make it, but you kind of can.
Oh yeah.
Because if you honestly, if you adopt those habits long enough, they will become your habits. If you adopt that mindset long enough, it will become your mindset. And the more you're in that realm of being that person, the more you will become that person. It's just a real thing.
I literally, and I'm not kidding, I used to be shy. And I heard the...
I don't believe that at all.
And I worked very diligently.
Sure.
And now I'm not shy in the least.
Yeah.
It took, this was a long time ago.
Sure.
But it took some work, but I faked it and just acted like I wasn't shy.
And now you're the least shy. I think you took it too far.
I think maybe
you took it a little too far.
Yeah, maybe. Now that I'm in my 50s, I feel this urge to talk to everybody.
Yeah, pull it back a little bit.
Yeah,
pull it back.
I have to start a whole new fake it till you make it.
So with that, I wanted to bring up a book that I think that people should take time to read. It's 12 Rules for Life. And that's Jordan Peterson. Mm-hmm. And there are some things in here with that'll address the fake it till you make it and address some of the other things. So if you want to delve into those,
I'd love to read his thoughts on the fake it till you make it phenomena. I don't know what he thinks about that. I haven't read the book, so I'd love to see what he says about it.
So he doesn't call it that. What do you mean fake it till you make it? That's just a construct. What are you talking? So no, we'll
see everybody later.
All right, see you later.
Au revoir.
Thanks for the books, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
We'll see you.
Yep. See you later.
Be careful. Be safe. Don't do dumb stuff.
Don't do dumb stuff. He gave you the thumbs up.
All right. So yeah, so that, I mean, that's a good one. I'm almost finished with it now. I think I'm on 9. There's 12 rules. I'm on rule 9. So
Okay, there
I
you
don't
go.
have a lot to go on it, but
You're almost there.
it's a pretty good read. It's going to cover a lot of things that we're talking about in a little more depth and a little
Mhm.
more abstract. Excuse me. Uh,
Well, I don't want to say I'm a better writer or speaker than Jordan Peterson, but he learned a lot from us, frankly.
how is the caption get ahead of? So apparently, the caption is now saying things before we actually say them.
Predictive AI is taking over the
Oh,
stream.
that's great. That's great.
It's because of the lag in the video feed. So Facebook is actually picking up the video feed. That's why, David, you've noticed the fact there's a delay between what we say and what plays on
Oh
Facebook.
yeah. So
It's not because of slow internet. It's because Facebook actually picks it up, transcribes it, so it tries to transcribe at the same time we're saying
mhm.
something. But sometimes it gets a little ahead of itself.
So right now is the longest. So it just shifted a little bit ago, where it built the delay has gotten much worse just in the past minute and a half or so.
Yeah,
Um, basically when I started
probably
messing
because you
around with
said Jordan
stuff.
Peterson.
Yeah, I said Jordan
You mentioned
Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
That's it.
I'll bet that. Look, I'll bet that's a red flag.
I bet
I'm
it
telling
is,
you, I'll bet it
but it is
is.
something definitely worth reading right now.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
worth
have
a
to
good.
pick that one up. I haven't bought that book yet.
It's a good one. I've got all of his books. And that's the first one I've started on. So I'll get through that one. And of course I'll make my bed.
Mhm. Yeah, I was thinking that meme of the lady. So there's this meme. I think it was originally on TikTok, but I saw it
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Uh, because I'm not a communist. So this lady, she has like blue hair and piercings all over the place and tons of makeup. And she says, I went to the public library because I'm not going to give Jordan Peterson any money, and I picked up this book. And she holds up the 12 rules, and she's like, I'm going to read this and disprove everything he's saying. And then it's like the SpongeBob voice comes on 5 hours later, and it's like her. She looks like a librarian, and she's like,
All
"Well,
cleaned up. Yeah.
I, I made my bed,
Yep.
and I cleaned my house, and I have a strange craving for lobster." It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's true though. It's funny
It
because
is.
people he has this bad reputation right now for being this horrible person. But if you actually like listen to what he says
Yeah.
and read his books, like he's saying a lot of very, very, very common sense
Yeah.
stuff.
Very common sense, very valid stuff. Stuff that will, unless you, even if you are looking to completely disagree with the guy, this stuff is going to resonate with you. And
Yeah,
that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
exactly. Now spit out your beer.
Spit out your beer. Yeah.
All right. So, in the 4 practical steps to embody your ideal self, number 1 was visualize your ideal self. Number 2 was set clear goals. Number 3 was adopt new routines. That's where the real change starts to take place. And now number 4, reflect and adjust. Right. So once you've started making these changes based on those end goals and based on who you want to be, based on your ideal self, regularly reflect on the progress. You can't just start down this road and not eventually look at the roadmap and say, am I on the right track? You need to regularly reflect on your progress. Are you moving closer to those goals? Because sometimes you feel like you're making progress, but you're going this other direction.
This takes me
Adjust
back.
your strategies and your needs based on this. And you know what? Later down the road, maybe you've started down the path and you realize that end goal isn't where you wanted to go. You're making these changes, you're happy with the changes, but you'd rather make a slightly different goal. Don't be afraid to adjust these things, but always have that end goal in mind. But you need to reflect and look at the roadmap and say, am I going the right way?
Yeah. I agree. So this reminds me of a show. It takes me back to a show we did, and I can't remember the title of it, but we did a show that we had bullet points that had, the top of this, the things you needed to do, business road mapping and things like that. And you can take, it's almost not absolute, but almost identical about the roadmap to creating success in your business
Mm-hmm.
and the roadmap to creating success within yourself.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
extremely similar. And I think,
Well, because the same principles apply no
yeah,
matter what you're change in your success, your idea of success is.
Yeah.
Some people's idea of success is, 40 hours a week at work, the rest of the time is at home with the family, and they're making just enough to live on.
Yep.
That's success for a lot of people, and that's great. If that's what you
They
want
go,
and that's your goal,
they
that's
golf. They
awesome.
golf once a. Maybe you bump it up. You got golf once a month.
You got beer money,
I
you're
got some.
happy,
Yeah,
and that's your goal. That's awesome, man.
that is. You know what? If I could go back in time, I might readjust my goals to that.
Right.
I
And
want a
honestly,
cabin out in the woods
ah,
in a
yeah,
state that doesn't
yeah,
have ongoing forever freaking taxes, and I want to own
yeah.
something. Actually own it. Oh, that'd be great.
This list is not about saying you need to improve yourself because we say so.
Yeah.
This list is about looking at yourself, looking at where you want to be. When you close your eyes and visualize what your ultimate happy goal, ideal self is, that is what this list is about. It's about identifying that, setting goals, and how to get there. And that could be personal life, that could be career, that could be relationship.
Excuse me.
The principles all apply no matter what that goal is.
Yeah. I just, it's not to say that you have to be, and this is very important for everyone to understand because, we get ourselves in trouble sometimes when we think the picture of success is XYZ. That over
A
there,
Ferrari
that
and a
is the
mansion.
picture of success. And there was a day I was driving. I gotta say this out loud. I'm gonna wrap myself out, okay? So I don't come off great.
All
I don't
right.
come off great in this story.
Okay.
I still living in Ohio. It was after I bought this house. We were closing. We had dates. We're good, and the stress of getting the new position, to getting the new job, making
Mhm.
that decision, to finding the house, and all the stress I went through for that was there. So I'm in my Corvette. I've got the top off of it, and I'm driving down the road that's along a river, and it's just in along the riverbank, and it just follows that river all the way up. And
Yeah.
I'd gotten up to the top of it up in Delaware, and I turned around, I came back down, and it dawned on me that I had already exceeded all of the goals and ideas of success that I'd had in my life to that point.
I mean, your life, as long as I've known you, has been pretty sweet.
It takes a lot of work to do it, but it was on that drive. I remember the very specific drive. I'm coming back down there, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at the
In your
wife, the
Corvette
kids,
driving through the
in the
countryside.
Corvette, driving in a nice shady lane on a sunny day, and that's just gold because you get the sun peeking through the
Right. In your
canopy.
Corvette with your happy, healthy, well-behaved family.
Well, they weren't all. It was just me. But I'm thinking about the family, everything. I'm thinking about this massive ass house we just bought and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I have far exceeded anything any kind of goal I'd ever set for myself.
Mhm.
So my goals changed dramatically
Right?
to helping other people. It is my
Mhm.
success now is to get more people to their goal.
Mhm.
I don't need to do any more. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good. In fact, I could come back down a little bit and
Right.
be happy. But my goal
Yeah, and
now
my
is
goals.
help other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned that I made this agenda because I'm going through a similar journey
Yeah.
myself, and my goals aren't what most people. So the goals, superficially, based on what it would look like if you think about what I'm building, are very different from what my actual goals are. My actual goals are not about being a CEO who's trying to build this thing to make a ton of money to get a giant house and a nice car. No, my actual goals are to build this thing that makes a great product, has a great following, specifically so it can be a long lasting, have longevity in the company, and I can actually build something for my family. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if this thing took off tomorrow and I became a billionaire, we probably wouldn't even move. We'd probably stay in the same house. We'd likely drive the same vehicles, but I would build this thing that is great for my family that I can pass down, that hopefully, if I raise my kids the right way, that they could take over the company eventually and run it themselves.
Yeah.
That's the goal for me. But in the meantime, I need to learn, what certain people do in certain situations in certain industries. I need to learn how people speak in different positions in different industries. I need to learn, the verbiage, the verbiology, or the phraseology,
Vernacular.
the vernacular, the phraseology,
Man, you just
I
love
need
to
a whole
nail
new
me. You just love to
lexicon.
get me with the
I love to say
phraseology.
phraseology. Yes.
So for those of you
I
guys who
need to
don't
learn.
remember, I challenged him. I was like, "There's no way that's a word. That is not a word, West." And live on the air, I had to eat crow because phraseology is
It's
in
a
fact a word.
Hey, don't mess with my vocabulary. I got it, man.
I got
But
I
I
got a
need to
new
learn a whole
roll
new
of toilet paper,
vocabulary.
so beware.
I need to learn different networking skills. I need to learn sales, which I used to be great at sales on a certain level, but I need to learn a whole different level of
Mhm.
sales in order to do certain
I
things.
happen to know
So,
somebody who's pretty good at that. So if you need help, let me know.
yeah, he's a jerk.
He is, but he's good at sales.
Fair enough.
And he comes in and drinks all your whiskey.
Oh, vey. Yeah, you're not kidding.
When he said
He's like, yeah, I'm just having a big old glass
this
of
glass
your
of
Macallan.
Macallan, and I'm like, is he talking
He's
about
like,
the
it's
Macallan
okay.
18 here?
Like, hang on, wait, what?
Wait,
You're
you
drinking what
drinking
now?
what? I
I
was
didn't.
uno momentos. You chincup, is it? Like, no, dude. He said Macallan.
Yeah, I should have realized I'm out of tin cup. Yeah, it's looking pretty sparse over there.
Yeah.
I gotta refill some stuff.
I think that's the low. I think what you should do is try to encourage him to bring a couple bottles to replace some of the stuff.
Yeah, he drinks more than I do.
Yeah. Yeah, you rarely drink. I mean, occasionally you'll drink some whiskey or something on there, but you typically, if you do, you drink the Blantons or something along those lines, which he doesn't like. So,
Right.
and that tin cup, man,
I'm out of
there's
that
nothing
anyway.
wrong with
So
tin cup. Tin cup is good. So I'm done. I killed mine.
there you go.
I just killed mine, which I mean, I've got
Nice.
I got a small store pick back there, but I'm saving that.
I'm
For a
telling
good
you,
one.
you gotta make collections of all your the toppers, and sell them. You can make some nice money.
Yeah,
Nice little side piece for you.
I give them away. I give away the toppers. So I had a buddy who's like, I've got all the letters except these three. And
Was that me?
no. And I go and I'm
Okay, 'cause
look.
you gave me a couple.
Yeah, and I go and I look. I'm like, hey, I got those three here, and I take them over to him. I was like, I collect them to give away. I don't collect them to collect them.
I want to have mine mounted, so I finally have the whole set, and I want to have it mounted on like a big stave. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I could probably work something out. We could probably do something for you out here.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the agenda. If you want the full show notes, go to torchdynamic.com.
Can you bring that up on your website? Can you bring your website up?
Sure, I can. 1 second here. I got it somewhere around here.
There we go. I got you back over, so you should be able to see it when you get there. And you got to share on Skype as well.
There we go. So, all right. So go to torchdynamic.com and go to Insights. That's basically where the blog is. And yeah, you can read the full show notes as in blog form. And this is where all of our show notes are for all of our shows. Everything you want to know about the Underdog journey, everything we think about all these different topics, go to torchdynamic.com. Torchdynamic.com. Sorry, mumbling a little bit. And yeah, pick it up there. This is my personal agency, so a little shameless plug never hurt.
Well,
anything.
I wanted to lead that into and adjust your camera or your screen again because for some reason
did it mess up again?
Yeah, it does.
Of course.
Okay, I got you there. I got you back. I wanted to do that because I last night I got to meet some cigar makers, and one of them is Nova. Nova was the boutique cigar of the year in 2023. They got
nice,
a rather striking color scheme to their products.
Okay, the sort of powder blue.
I'm going to call it extremely close to getting sued by Tiffany's blue.
It's kind of a Tiffany blue, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I call it. Now, it's going to be really hard to confuse this with a diamond ring. But people are very protective of, especially Tiffany and Tiffany's blue.
I'll bet they own that color. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's close. I don't think it's not the same color, but it is a little off, but it is
it's a little more teal.
So, and this is a company that's got a lot of breadth to their offerings. They got a lot of stuff to it. I was just introduced to them yesterday. The next one is the one I want to talk about the most. It's the Series 40, Seri 40, Seri 40. I don't know. We're going to show up the card for it there. This is the business card I
Nice,
got
yeah.
from the
I like it.
CEO or owner or whatnot, Angelina.
Okay.
That's her name. There's a cigar right there. Nice. This is a box press. I am a fan of
Yeah.
box press cigars. I do like a good box pressed. But this is the Series 40. Each of their cigars have a name to go with it. And the phone number's on here, the email address is on here. But there's two things I want to point out really quick. And that, again, for the shameless plug aspect of it for Torch Dynamic is why I wanted to bring this up and on the air, is we're going to pull this up. We're going to take a quick look at that, and we're going to see, that font is not easily read.
It was not easily read. It's an out of the box, basic, script font. Yeah, it's basic script font you can find anywhere. It's not a good font. You're right. It's not easily read either. Yeah. But the email address.
Yeah, that's what we're going to move on to now. We'll put the email back up there again because in case you missed it, at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com. That's bad.
Now,
if you're running a business, we need to do this show again. So we did one not too long ago about this.
Yeah. And we should. And just so you guys know, I called out a doctor who runs a men's health clinic in Columbus because of at gmail.com. I called him out on the spot in a cigar club of all places, on the spot. It's like, this has to be fixed. You cannot do business with this. You're going to have a hard time when we're talking about moving this to distribution and moving quantities and product. We have to have a domain, and somebody like Torch Dynamic can build that for you and get you all squared away with the website and the domain-based email to go along with it. So I am actually going to be reaching out to Angelina, who is the CEO of this company, and they have a wonderful product. The cigars are amazing. But I'm going to be reaching out to her and say, hey, I'm putting you in contact with a cohort of mine, which is West. He's going to reach out to you about fixing some major branding issues and some marketing ideas for you to bring you up and make you sellable. This is hard to sell. This is an uphill sell.
If you're dealing with a company and you see that they have an at Yahoo or at Gmail email address, are you really taking that company very seriously?
No.
It's no. You're not going to give them money. You're not going to give them your personal information.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, absolutely. So Jeff's saying, have a good night, evening. Good night, Jeff. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us in here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
But I wanted to call that out because, this is what we do. I didn't call him out last night. Last night was not the right time and place for it. It was a very busy evening. The young lady seemed very smart. So hopefully she'll listen and maybe we can get some presentations. And more importantly, maybe she'll be on the show to talk to us about
the business
of cigars. Now, I also
I have a lot of questions.
Have you ever heard of the cigarcritic.com or Cigar Critic?
I don't know that one.
So Cigar Critic is that's what he is. He's a cigar critic. So I got to meet him last night too. And I'm thinking of reaching out to him and say, hey, we would love to have you on your show, because doing a pure opinion piece, and you have to be this, you basically, when you become the critic, you become kind of like an elevated subject matter expert on it.
Oh yeah. You are the subject matter expert. So, we talked about that a while ago. Whenever you interview somebody or you host a podcast and they're your guest, you are, or run a review show, something like that, you automatically elevate yourself to that next level of expert. Look at late night talk show hosts. Stephen Colbert or David Letterman. I don't know, whoever's on there.
Stephen Colbert, I don't know much about him, but I wouldn't trust that guy to change a tire.
Right. My point is, though, when they're not doing political stuff, that's all whatever. When they're talking about people in other industries, right? They're not a subject matter in subject matter expert in anything. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
But since they're interviewing the person who does know the stuff, guess what? They're leading the conversation. They're automatically viewed by the audience as the subject matter
Yes.
expert. The same thing applies when you're a reviewer. When you're a reviewer, you could, you have all the time in the world to write the review, but by the time you actually present it to the viewer, the audience, they don't know. It's
Yeah.
all brand new information to them. Therefore, you are the ultimate authority in what you're talking about. It's a great little niche to get into.
Yeah. That's also why most people choose to do recorded shows and not live shows on social media, because
Exactly.
you guys get to see every single mistake we make. Every time the camera
Every mistake.
resets, every time this app doesn't, we don't get to do, oh, let's do that again. Oh, I like the
Every
inflection
time,
over. We've got to do it all one take.
yeah, whenever we stumble over our words, or we mumble, or say the wrong thing,
Yeah.
or look stupid for no reason
Yeah.
at all, yeah, it's you see it all. So
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a great time. You love it. You should do it. You should do it. Everybody should.
I'm not sure we're convincing anyone now.
No, so that was good. We went over the 12 rules of life. That was a joke.
There you go.
So we had the 4 rules of manifestation of your inner self being, creating positive self-worth through inflection.
Yeah.
What was?
Oprah Winfrey wrote a book on it. It's The Secret is out now in all your local bookstores.
Yeah.
I don't recommend buying it. But this was the 4 steps to realizing your ideal self, which is a real thing. It's not manifestation. It's not hippy dippy nonsense. It's actually a real thing. So
Yeah.
go to torchdynamic.com, check out the actual blog post, read it for yourself,
Yep.
or go back and rewatch our show if you're just not catching up.
You
But
should rewatch our
it's a
show
real thing. I'm
anyway.
telling you. Set goals, identify how to get there, and then follow the roadmap along the way.
You should rewatch not only this show, but all of them to this point. All 200.
All 224
So
of them.
that's funny. And we were talking. I was talking with a handful of people yesterday, a lot of people yesterday, and I said, one of the things we don't do is we don't monetize our channel. We don't do it. We have other things. This is for helping you guys out there and bringing information to you to help build your businesses. It's not a business for us. This is our, we've told you many times, this goes way back to like episode 1 or 2. If you treat a business like a hobby, it's going to cost you like a hobby. Well, this is a hobby for us, and it costs us like a hobby.
Believe me, it does. Yes.
West, you've got an $800 camera sitting over there. I've got a $200-ish camera sitting over here.
The cameras, the microphones, the software,
$400 mics.
time.
At the time, they're actually a little less now. We both have
time spent,
MacBooks,
everything.
We have MacBooks, iPads, lighting, all the stuff that goes to just the physical hardware of it, and then we get to our time frame. So trust me, it costs us like a hobby so that you can treat your business like a business. And that's what we want you to do. So thanks for joining us out here tonight. And I'll let you do the sign off, West, and I'll hit the button. I've got one last button to press.
There you go. So I've been Wes. This guy's been David. That guy behind me used to be Matt Harmon, but he left. And we will see you guys next time. Later.
I want to give the peace sign that I normally do, but I'm afraid to lock my camera up again. So
did you hit the button? I can't see you.
I haven't hit the button yet. We're still live. We're still going here. So I'm going to wave. There we go.
classically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods.